Hey y'all, and welcome back. So my first step is to add a primer. All products will be listed down below and or in the screen. First victim is going to be my brows. I basically follow my natural eyebrow shape. And then after I've applied the product or filled in my brow, I go over it slightly to create an ideal brow shape. After I place the product, I take a spoolie and I brush the product through the brows. And what this will do is help blend and soften the brow look. This is a very, very useful tip. So if you're having issues with your brows looking really, really harsh after you have applied brow product, take a spoolie and just brush that son of a gun through it, and it's like a miracle worker. It can just make everything come together. Something as simple as a spoolie. Spoolies are available individually at like your local drugstore or like a Walmart, a Target, a retail place that sells any kind of drugstore makeup. They'll be able to have, they will have spoolies. A Sally's will have spoolies. They're not very, very hard to find. If you're just like crunched and you can't find anything, you can order them off Amazon, and I think they will be under $5 for maybe a bag of 15 or something like that. So as you can tell, I'm very happy with how my brows came out. Now, the next step is optional. If you want your brows to be a little bit more on and popping, as the youngins will say these days, on and popping, maybe that's a millennial thing. I don't know. Anyway, you'll take concealer and you'll follow concealer closer to your skin tone, maybe slightly lighter. I wouldn't go too light, but slightly lighter, and you follow the shape that you've already placed. I found that this technique is really, really, really good and looks very, very, very good if you're doing a very nice dramatic eye look. In this particular video, I didn't do as dramatic of a look as I like it to be, and I find that when I do my brows like this and my eye look is a lot softer, it can sometimes deter too much attention to the brows, if that makes any sense. All the attention will go to the brow and not go to the eye look, if you know what I'm saying, or it'll go to the brow but not all over the face. So kind of use caution when you use this, and don't go too crazy. Just personal opinion that I think if you do this type of technique and add and carve out the brows with concealer, you should just be warned that it's really going to make your eyebrows on and pop. So after I've done that, I go in with a brow gel. I love this brow gel by Urban Decay. I don't know if they make it anymore. It's in dark brown, but I believe they have darker shades. And please excuse the middle finger. I'm adding a eyeshadow primer to my eyelid. It's by Too Faced Shadow Insurance. It's Too Faced Shadow Insurance. Yeah, middle finger all day long. Jesus Christ. Okay, from the Nars Ignited palette, I take the lightest shade in the palette. It's spelled HAMMANET. I place that all over the lid. This is a very common technique to place the lightest shade all over the lid. That is supposedly supposed to help with blending, which it does. For me personally, I feel that starting off with this step helps soften the look. If I was doing a more dramatic look, I would completely skip this step. I would probably set the under part of my brow, and then I will go in straight in with my main lid color, and then I would start building my crease color after that. I find that for me personally, just doing it that way without the base color helps really make my colors pop and my eyes stand out a lot more. But this is more of a soft glam slash basic Bish look, and we're just trying to keep it simple, easy, and breezy. And this eye look really didn't take a very long time. The next eyeshadow shade that I use is called Sophia. I can actually pronounce that, thank God. It is a brown taupey shade. Goes a little bit more into the taupe. It's okay. Really, really good to place this even all over the eyelid if you want to do something like a quick go and glow kind of thing, or using the same the light eyeshadow shade and then just going in with Sophia would be suffice enough. And the next shade that you just saw me put down, that kind of reddish brownish shade, is called NOUMEA. I'm gonna go with that. I'm not for sure that's how it's pronounced, but I'm gonna say NOUMEA, NOUMEA. It's a really pretty almost browny orangey shade. I really enjoyed this shade a lot. It's very flattering to my skin tone, and it really pairs really nice overlaid on top of that taupey shade. Now this is when I was like, oh no, hell no. This is ST-PAUL-DE-VENCE 1, and on its own it's a beautiful color, but placed on top of that lighter shade, it just didn't do anything. So you can see I made a face and went like, oh hell no. So what I decided to do was mix In Heat, Supernova, and Fuse. So you'll see me going in with several different colors, and you'll see that it's starting to change because I'm mixing all three shades together, so to give me a somewhat acceptable eye look, so I could be happy and not obsess over it and move on to the next look. This would really, believe it or not, be really pretty for a bridal look. The glitters in the Nars palettes that I've found thus far are absolutely fucking amazing. They can be on and popping, or they can be sweet, soft, and subtle. And I absolutely adore Nars's eye palettes lately. So they're absolutely worth the money to me. And the glitters do not fall off. Now, there sometimes some do, depending on how much I put on there. But literally throughout the day, once I set my face, the glitter does not move. I don't need a glitter glue to make these glittery eyeshadows stick. So I decided to stop and go right into my face. So I'm taking my Lancome Dual Finish Powder in the color 470 Suede C, and I'm using a Sigma brush. I cannot remember for the life of me the model of it, so I'll have it in the description box down below and or in the screen. So the coverage on this dry is medium to medium full. When this product is wet, it's supposedly supposed to be full. I can't speak to that because I have not tried it wet, and I don't want to damage the product in the pan. I'm just real paranoid about that, but one day I promise y'all I will definitely try this product out wet. I'm taking it all over the face, and my goal here is pretty much to cover as much as possible without going cake face brigade, because I'm doing a soft glam look. Remember, soft glam. I'm not trying to do full on glam, a more soft, subtle glam look. Now, this technique that I'm using, just putting the foundation all over my face, is pretty much typically how I do my beat face routine, except I have a full coverage foundation and I cover every single thing. I don't use concealer or anything. Then I go back in very heavily with a highlight and contour to make a very flawless beat look. So I built up the product as much as possible without drying the hell out of my skin, because this product is very drying on my skin. So I took the OCC concealer. I forget the color name of it again. I'll have all the information you need in the screen or down below. And I'm going over some spots I want to cover. And after I place this concealer, I go over it. I take my brush, as you can see, and I press it into the skin. I don't rub it, I press it, so I don't move the concealer underneath. And then in some areas I'll go back and buff, but that's where I haven't placed the concealer. The step you're seeing me here do right here is the highlighting part of the face, and I'm using a Makeup Forever contour and highlight kit. I believe they still have this kit, but it's repackaged. I have the old packaging, so I believe that the newer version is the same, but it's just obviously newer packaging. And I'm taking that lighter shade and I'm going underneath my eye, and I'm creating kind of a V shape or triangle. What do they call those triangles? Isosceles? What the fuck? I don't know. I'm making a triangle underneath my eyes, and I'm dragging up a little bit towards my temples to give a little bit more raised look. I'm taking that same color and I'm going down a little bit on my nose, a little bit above the cupid's bow, a little on the chin, in that T-shaped area, T-zone area, and a little bit on my forehead. Now you can go heavy if you want to, if you want a lot of the light focused on the center. So for me, this color seemed a little bit pulling a little bit more yellow because the powder itself is more golden. So I take the Nars concealer. I forget the exact name of the concealer and the color, but I'll have everything again listed down below. Oh my God, or in the screen, for the love of Jesus. And that one's more beigey. I find that beigeier golden colors, whether it's concealer and or foundation, really look good as a highlighter on me. So I didn't want to shift anything. I just wanted to press it into the skin to help with blending. And now I'm taking a powder, a matching or similar powder, and I'm setting all the areas that I highlighted. So what you just saw me place, or what I'm placing right now, is the Hourglass, Hourglass Veil or something like that. It's the lightest shade that they have, and it's an awesome color to really make your highlight a little bit more diffuse and a little bit more popping. I absolutely love this product, and you need very little to make your highlight really nice. So all I'm doing is contouring. I'm doing the Notorious number 3. I'm drawing the number 3 on the side of my face, if you want the sweet and simple of it. This color in this Makeup Forever palette is Life. I absolutely think it's the most flattering contour color I've ever seen. I don't know. I would hope that they sell this color separately, because if they do, I would totally buy it. It's just a really amazing color. Their color corrector in that palette is also pretty bomb too as well. And that's all I'm doing. I'm just contouring. This product works very well on top of liquids and powders, so that's why I chose this particular contour palette versus a powder contour palette. So I'm taking this Maybelline, I think it's Maybelline, and it's slightly a little bit more red. I got too much product on my brush, and I'm going over those areas I placed that Makeup Forever cream contour. So I've kind of went back and blended everything how I wanted. I still want that contour a little bit more oomph. So I went in with this Shea Moisture Mandley Dusk. This is a holy grail for me. I absolutely love the color on this. It's a lot like the CoverGirl's bronzer, the darkest shade that they have. It's very reminiscent of that. And I absolutely love this color. So I'm going in. It's not uncommon for me to go in with a second, if not third, powder for a contour. And then I just picked up that brush that I had a little bit more product with my foundation and went over the areas and blended. Now I so-called had blush on my face. This is a Nars blush palette that I'm using. I do apologize, I don't know offhand what color I use. I used 2 colors in that palette, and I was like, yeah, it's very subtle pinkish type of color. I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. I don't want it to be too blushy. So I wanted that outer V to pop a little bit more. So I'm using my holy grail, my absolute beloved Neutral Matte Visor Art palette. And this is Life Everlasting. If I was ever to recommend a matte palette, it will always be this neutral palette by Visor Art. And I'm taking that the darkest shade they have in the palette. I apologize, they don't have names to these shades. And I'm going in that outer V. And that's pretty much it. I'm only using that darker brown shade. Now I'm like, okay, I'm happy with that. So what I decided to do was mix that same dark brown shade, that chocolate shade. I say it's more chocolate shade, and I mixed it a little bit with the black shade in there to kind of make that eyeliner a little bit more popping. It's really, really good technique if you want a cat liner or feline liner, but you don't want it really on and popping. You just want something a little bit subtle. Something about this technique really opens the eyes and gives it a very sexy look to it without it being too into the thick of things, if that makes any sense. So it's a really flattering technique, at least for my eye shape, to put a little bit of liner, whether it be liquid or a powder or makeshift liner, and putting it a little bit on the outside of my eyes. It really opens up my eyes and gives a very kind of lifted feline appearance.
Seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding.
Get those lashes, girl. Yes, honey. I'm so serious. Look how serious I am. So I really can't explain how I put on my lashes. I literally, the best way I can explain it, balls to the wall. I put the glue on the lash. I don't let it get too tacky because I know I'm probably going to fuck it up. And I like to move it around and place it. I kind of try to get it dead center, and then I move it around and place it where I want. And then once I'm happy with it, I start pressing it into the lash line like I'm doing here. I find that this technique that I'm doing, looking down at a mirror, really, really, really helps line it up a little bit better and get it a lot closer to the lash line. The closer the falsie is to lash line, the more natural, the prettier it's gonna look.
'Cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding, holding.
So after that, my last step is to do my lips. Off screen, I kind of remove a little bit of the gloss that's on my lips because my lips were dry at the time. I'm taking MAC's Chestnut and I'm lining my lips. And what you'll see is I really line the outer corners very heavily because what that's going to do is give me a pouty lip once I put that lighter shade in the center. And the shade that I used is called Velvet Teddy by MAC. And I put that lighter shade, it's more of a pinkier shade, and I put it on the center of the lips, and then I blend it, and then boom, I'm done. DSLs for life. It really, I get the most compliments by just using Chestnut and a lighter shade in the center, but especially when I use Velvet Teddy, it's pretty awesome. So that's pretty much my completed look. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Ciao.
Even if I lost